Hello and welcome back to another Barn Automotive YouTube episode. And in this episode, we're still working on the Slamgram, and it is time to put the transmission in the car. And for those of you with keen eyes, you will see that the transmission is already on the transmission stand and it's up in place. It's not bolted in. I bolted it to the back of the engine, but it's just there to kind of know what needs doing. So I will show you exactly what I've done so far. Here it is. It wasn't possible to fit it in without tunneling. I tried just kind of pushing the original tunnel back in the curved areas. Didn't work, and obviously wasn't very professional. So we end up cutting it. I've done as small a hole as possible for now, and I will have to make it slightly bigger. But it fits. It's in. It's held on with a couple of bolts to the engine. I did increase the engine angle from 3 degrees to 4 degrees, and that gave us just enough room to get it in and on. So, and we have enough clearance for the drive shaft coming out, which is also good. So it means we're not going to have to tunnel the whole way down, just that section. So next up is the transmission mount. I've already mocked something up and I will show you that. So we're going to make a mount that comes across here, bolts to the base of the car, and then it will have some rubber bushings between the mount and the transmission, and then they'll be bolted together. And this is the transmission mount that I've made. It's not finished, but if I talk you through how it is going to work. So we have 2 plates with 3 bolts welded in. This will mount inside the car on top of the floor plan. And the same with this one. 1 either side, 6 bolts all together holding this to the car. So 2 plates left and right inside the car with the threads coming to the outside of the car. And then we have the mount. The 3 bolts will come through here, either side. And this will be bolted to the plate on the inside of the car, making it extra strong. And then it doesn't have any holes in the middle as of yet for the transmission to be bolted to, but I will make them once we have this in place and it's lined up. And that is 10 mil thick steel. So it is incredibly strong. It's not going anywhere. It's fairly heavy. And yeah, this was adapted from another transmission mount for the 6L80. Obviously, they don't make one for the 4 Granada. So I've had to adapt it and make it fit into this, which I've done. So now I need to put it in place and drill the holes in the floor plan for this to be bolted up into. So that is the next step. So under the car, you can see how this is going to go. It's very tight to the walls, which is how I wanted it, so it's not going to move. And it's up against these runners, so it's not going to move or twist. And with the plates on the top side, it's going to be extremely solid. And then, yeah, you can see there, this will go up a little bit, and then we'll have some rubber bushings in there, and this will bolt onto this. And that is how the transmission will be mounted onto the car at the rear. So right now I need to mark where these holes are, both sides, and then drill them, get the plate in the top side, bolt them together. Now you can see a thread's poking out. So, get some nuts. And with that, obviously these need making shorter, and the third one needs going in. But for now, it sits on it or rests on it. It's really not going to go anywhere. That's in solid. It's tight everywhere. So that is in. This is mounted. I think once we put the rubber bushings in there, this will probably go back to about 3 degrees. But we need to check, and it will need a low profile oil sump because this is our subframe height, the front, but then it's on an angle. So this hangs below the subframe. Probably you're going to take that out and end up going through it, which we don't want that. So we will get a lower profile one that raises that up so that it's above the subframe. And then you're going to hit the subframe before you hit that if you do anything. So, you know, take it slow. Yeah, another one to show you the subframe reinforcing. So all of that is 3.5mm steel plate. And all of this is ready for the powder coater. This is the rest of the subframing, control arms. These are all reinforced with 3.5mm steel plate as well, top and bottom side. So we aren't going to have any issues with them twisting or bending or cracking. So we are good there. And I'm more than happy with that being in place. Not quite sitting level, as you can see. It's kind of on an angle, but when we bolt it down, that'll change. So, transmission kind of in. The reason I've left the transmission like that, just sat there, is so that I can lower it down and see what actually needs doing inside, because I cut that hole from underneath. And I don't know how much room we actually have inside between the transmission and the heater core. I know I can fit about a finger, but it's whether we need to move that as well. So now I want to lower it down. Then I know how much work I have to do on the inside, because bolting that transmission in place is no work at all. It's prop it up, put some rubber bushings on it, and it's done, bolted. So now this, and once, I have the tunnel made and that in, then I will remove everything again. And then I will send the subframe off and that bracket and all that stuff on the pallet to the powder coater. And then it can all be powder coated and go back in the car. Inside the car, you can see the transmission poking through. So the original line, this is where your gear shift was mounted. And the original line dropped down to about here. So it's not much it had to come up by, but yeah, it was impossible. You can see up there, ignore the mess of cables. This is the next job to sort out once everything's at the powder coater, is strip out all the wiring that we don't need. Most of this is going, all the new wiring's already ran down there. But you can see there, we're still very tight. I can fit my fingers through it, but we don't really need much more room than that. If it was to rock, then you're not going to touch it, but it shouldn't rock because we're bolted solid at the back and it's not really going to move anywhere. So next step is I'll cut this back more so that we cut out the gear hole. I will take this as my level and we will go up to there. And I don't know, I think I'm going to do it in separate sections and weld them together and make this out of also 3mm, because I have essentially just cut a big hole in the middle of the car and weaken the structure here. So if I can make it stronger again with that and make it more structural, then that's the way I'm going to do it. So we will take this as the level and I will probably mock it up out of some carb first, and we will run at an angle out there, and then we'll have a piece that comes down to there, and then another, you can't see, we'll have a piece that comes down to there, and then another piece that goes flush down to the sides here, and it will be splayed. So it would be one piece up to where you see the cut there, and then that would be another piece that splays up that way. So yeah, I think I make it out of carb first. I don't normally anymore. I normally just draw them out as I go. but this time we're going to template it. It has taken me most of the day to get this right, or the second part of the day after getting the transmission mount made and the transmission in. The rest of the day I've been on this tunnel, but I am somewhere that I'm happy with now. It is, let me see if I can hold it in the shot. This is how it's looking. So, solid. I tried making it out card to start with. It wasn't going anywhere. I just wasn't working with the card, so the best thing to do was to do it. What I did was, it's still hot from welding it. What I did was made the center section, made it straight, and then looked at where the highest point on the transmission is and bent this behind that point. So this is one piece bent, and then in here is one piece bent, and then reinforced with some like triangle pieces in the corner and some filler pieces there to make the shape that sits around the bell housing. And I'm happy with it. I'm not going to put it in the car today. I haven't actually even tried to test it. I don't know what the time is now. It's very late. But I will put this in the car tomorrow. I think my plan is I will basically put some like strips about that wide on the inside of the transmission tunnel and sandwich the two together, and the sheet that's on the existing transmission tunnel is too thin to weld this to. So what I would do is overlap them, sandwich the two together and weld through all three, and then it will be in there solid. It won't be going anywhere. But that is a job for tomorrow morning. For now, it is an absolute mess in here. So I'm going to clean this up, and then we will start again in the morning with putting this in the car. And probably, yeah, well, definitely I need to take the transmission out to actually get this in. So it'll be tidy up, transmission out, this in, and then put the transmission back. It's a new day. Fresh head, new ideas. And the first plan of action for today is remove the transmission out the car, and then we get to fit in that tunnel that I made yesterday into it, and it's just easier to access everything without the transmission there. So we put it up, there's 4 bolts holding it in and the transmission mount that I made. Drop it out and then get to fit in that tunnel. This is your first look at the transmission tunnel in the car. It is obviously not welded in. That's what I'm going to go for, welding it. So how I'm going to do it is I will make holes every so often around here and rivet the 2 sheets together. I'd said yesterday I was probably going to sandwich it, but we have so much overlap that I don't really have to worry about blowing through, because if I can get a really good tight gap between the seams, then I'm not going to blow through the thin sheet. Another thing I need to do before I do that is get all this old shitty ISO off and out the way. And then, yeah, final fix of that in, and then it's done for that. And it provides us with a really nice base to put the shifter on as well, the new tap shifter. So I'm more than happy with that. And yeah, time to start chiseling this old ISO off. It's a horrible job. If anyone's done it, they'll know that. And then fix it in place. The transmission tunnel is now in on the rear section. So how I did it, drilled through both pieces, riveted them together to pull it tight, then took a ball-headed hammer and beat the edge in tight the whole way around, and then welded about 5 centimeters at a time. And then this is panel glue like they use in modern cars. to go over it, because it's not a restoration, it's a resto mod, so there's some old techniques, some new techniques, and for all the welds and everything, I just go over all of them with that panel seal that they use on new builds, and it just kind of stops the moisture getting in. I think it's good. It's horrible to work on when it's all over them though, because you have to grind it away first, but for finishing things it's good. It'll isolate any extra noises. And this part up here we still need to get in, but that is easier with the engine out the way. But I want to just test fit the transmission back up into it before I remove the engine and transmission again. We have a good fit the whole way around. We are clear, free. Okay, so that is as far as I'm going to go for this video with the transmission in. Now I can remove everything and get it sent off to the powder coater. But I realized the other day I need to start celebrating the small achievements on projects like this, because these engine swaps take a long time before you have the finished product to look at. So you have to look at the milestones that you have. And on this, with the transmission in, the engine in, the radiator in, that was a big job getting that in. And I've had to remove everything. I've only had the car here 2 weeks, so the original engine, transmission, everything needed taken out, all the wiring. To be at this stage where everything is boxed in, I am more than happy with this, because on this there is no kit or anything provided for it. I have to make each part myself. On the LS3 Defender, you can buy pretty much LS3 install kits where everything's provided to you and you just have to mount it in the car. On this, I need to make everything to fit it myself. So each thing takes a long time to figure out how I'm gonna do it, what I need to make to do it, what brackets I need to make to mount things. The radiator, getting that fitted with enough space between the engine for the fans to go in, how I'm going to get the fans in, because you couldn't just push them in like they were meant to be, they need to slide in. All takes a long time, and I am very happy that I'm now at the stage where most of that work is now done, and we're kind of finally sitting how it should be in the car. So I'm going to celebrate with a coffee or something and sit back and just think about exactly what I've done and what I'm gonna do next, which brings us on to the next video. Let me know in the comments whether you want me to make a video about the electronics and everything going in the car. So that would be like the LCD screen, how I'm gonna get that in the car and it working with the engine and the speedo and everything. So you have your oil pressure, speedo, RPM. I can make a video on that. It's different from car to car and engine to engine, but maybe it would help you on a project if you're looking to do that. Or we can just wait until all the parts are back from the powder coater and then do a video of everything pretty much going back in the car, show you the parts powder coated, and then the key start, because by then all the electronics should be in the car. So let me know. And that is it for now. If you enjoyed following along, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next Barn Automotive YouTube video.